Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another VPN chat. Now, this one he's multi-talented. He's actor, model, music artist, all that great stuff. We have the star of Sweet Mahogany, well, one of the stars of Sweet Mahogany, Kineh N'Gaojia. How you doing today, man?
I'm good, King. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to talk to you today, man. Hopefully people get to know you a little bit better after this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this conversation for sure.
And I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
And no problem, no problem. So we keep it all the way transparent, all the way 100 here. So people, I just now learned how to pronounce Kineh's last name. I literally just learned like 5 seconds ago. Yeah. Because for his name, he has the N before, the last name starts with the N. So in an apostrophe. So I was like, okay. I think I was saying N'Gaojia or something like that. And that's absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
And so Kineh told me today, he's like, nah, it's just Gouger, like you gouge your eye. I was like, oh, that's how you say it. Okay.
Yeah. And everyone does it, everyone does. I've been getting that since I was a little kid. So I'm used to it. Even my first name, is Kineh, but it's spelled Kineh, which was kind of like a mistake because my father wasn't there when I was born and my uncle signed a birth certificate. So I didn't even know that was my name till I was like 9 years old because everyone called me Junior. But anyway, Kineh, Kineh just mean like old man, old wise man. And N'Gaojia is it's a Portuguese name, means proud walker. Because the Portuguese took over Sierra Leone first. That's why it's called Sierra Leone, like the Lion Mountain, the mountain of the lion. So that's where the name comes from. So it's a very popular name in Sierra Leone. Like I said, it's a Portuguese word. I met this guy in Spain, and he was like, "Oh, I know that name," So yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for the lesson. That's awesome, bro. Like, so because my dad's name is Kineh. So yeah. That's dope. That's dope.
And all our family members, not to cut you, my brothers and my kids all have Kineh in their name. Like I said, it's Kineh is more of a description. Like my grandfather, rather, never met him. He passed away before I was born. Anyway, but his name was Kineh, and like I said, Kineh is description like the old wise man Kineh. The humble Kineh. Like it's more of a description.
Got you. That's what's up. Yeah. So I told Kineh I was gonna save this, but we actually start recording. So when I first saw how your name was spelled, like the whole thing, and then I saw that you went by KG. I said, okay, so I'm gonna just call him KG because I don't want to disrespect this man and say his whole name wrong. So that's the reason. I don't know if you noticed when I first met you, I was just calling you KG all the time, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna call this brother KG because I was like, I'm not trying to mess anything up. I don't want him mad at me because I cannot say his name correctly, and I was like, I'm just gonna.
It's cool because everybody called me KG. I mean, since I was a kid, honestly. Like I said, if it wasn't Junior, they called me KG. So until I met my biological father, because like I didn't know him till I was 9, and that's when people started calling me Kineh. But KG, like growing up in New York, New Jersey, KG means knowledge God, because I always study. I study a lot theology, study 5% Nation of Islam, all of that. Kind of grew up in Islam. So KG is knowledge God, and also Kineh N'Gaojia, kind of if you take the N off. So all of that.
Got you.
And knowledge is heavy, so KG, that's that weighs a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So speaking of when we first met, so I remember I first met you at the Charlotte Black Film Festival. Yeah, so I remember because you were in the film Postal. We was in that, and it screened, and yeah, shout out to the McNeils. Yeah, definitely shout out to the McNeils. So that's when I remember I saw Postal, And then I remember we crossed each other, and then you was like, "Hey man, I really want to work with you." And I said,
Mhm.
"Okay, cool, that's what's up. Yeah, we definitely gotta get up." And then yeah, then I think that was it for that first encounter.
Yeah.
If I'm telling
Yeah.
the story correctly.
No, you are. Yeah.
Okay.
You and you were and then you spoke to me, you was like, I have the script. And by the blast when you told me a little bit about the script, which happened to be Sweet Mahogany, I was like, well, I was excited, but people tell you a lot of stuff. So I was just like, you know, it would come to fruition or not, so I waited and it came, yeah.
So basically, you was like, "All right, yeah, I'd heard this already before."
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you know how people be, man. You know that Hollywood talk, they talk to you like, man, I got something for you. You be waiting 3 years and nothing, nothing come out of it. So I definitely appreciate you keeping your word.
yeah, man. Yeah, I definitely worked on. I started working on. Either I started working on Sweet Mahogany, or I already had it. Um, the scripts ready. This is when it was a show, because I knew I wanted Jessica to play Mahogany. I already knew that because I worked with her on Lover's Lane, and
Right.
I was like, yeah, I definitely want Jessica to play Mahogany. And I was just trying to figure out, because of what the storyline entailed. I
Mhm.
was trying to figure out what actors would be would fit the parts, but also would be interested in doing it, because again, if you haven't seen it, then Sweet Mahogany is definitely a mature rated show. Um, we definitely talk about some things on that show.
Yeah.
There's some things on the show that happen, and not all actors are comfortable doing certain things, which is respectable, understandable. Like, never been that person to pressure be like, "Hey, you got to do it." I'm like, "Nah, if you not don't feel comfortable, then hey, this is possibly not the
Right.
project for you to work on." But I gave you the scripts, and yeah, you definitely was immediately like excited and ready to and jump on board of the project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, when I read it, I was like, wow, this is different. And back then, especially, it wasn't too many people jumping off, the curb doing stuff like that. So it was something definitely different. I knew people was going to gravitate towards it. And that's exactly what happened. Matter of fact, what's crazy is a guy reached out to me a couple of weeks ago, and
Mm,
he wanted to interview me and my wife actually, about Sweet Mahogany. He wanted to get her perspective on how she feels, like the scenes,
mm,
like how she takes it being a spouse. And he was just interested. Like, he's watched it several times. He's writing the paper on it. You know what I'm saying? So you see how
mm.
much your work is traveling around the world and you don't even know it yet. People are constantly reaching out. Like, when is the next installment coming out? I get, like, snapshots from it. People send it to me like, "Oh, I saw you." And me being in the military, I met a lot of people, so they see the work, and they respond.
That's what's
So
up.
thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Nah, you're welcome. You're welcome, man. Now, thank you again for just being a part of this project, man. Again, I know, like you said, it's definitely a quote unquote taboo type. Was
It
a
was.
taboo type subject, dealing with people in being in multiple, like a relationship that involved multiple people.
Mhm.
So just kind of just talking about that, because I mean it was happening, but people weren't really talking about it. You mean now it's just
Right. Yeah.
everybody
Now
everybody
now it's everywhere. Yeah.
everybody doing it now. So
Right.
but yeah, so it was then it was just like, all right, cool, we hit on this subject that's rarely talked about. I want you to talk about, like I said, talk about your character. You play Khalil. Um, what I'm saying, he's the husband of Cassie, and then he also is with Mahogany. They're in that relationship together. So talk about your character, and just also talk about just your interpretation of who Khalil was to you.
On paper, I think Khalil is someone who was just wanted to make his wife happy. By whatever she really decided, he went along with it until he got to the point where he couldn't take it anymore and had to step out and find his own self. And I think that's what's happening as the season progresses. Um, and as far as my interpretation for Khalil, I brought a little bit of myself into the filming, of course. playing a character's percentage of yourself in there also. That's why I always step up with the wardrobe and all that, just to add myself in it. And to be honest, I think someone watched our shows and started chipping off some of the stuff, some of your techniques, that you use. Even like I said, even the attire. When I watch Power, because we came out before Power, and I probably said this to you before. Um, when I watch Power, is reminiscent of a lot of the stuff that we did in Sweet Mahogany. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, other people may disagree, but I remember when we did it first. That's all I know. So, but yeah, Khalil's very interesting guy. I could even see a spinoff with him or whatever, just putting that in your ear. But but you know what I'm saying? Very interesting guy, but he's trying to appease his wife a lot. His wife was a little more treacherous, at least we think so, because we haven't really seen all the layers of Khalil. I think we were starting to unwrap it a little bit in the next ones that's coming, but I think you might have calmed him down because you maybe trying to put an end to what's going on. But I'm just saying, Khalil has so many layers that can be that other people will be attracted to really see. That's all.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, like I said, I liked your portrayal of him. I like the way, because like I said, Khalil's a strong person. Like, he's very strong, but like you said, he definitely he loves his wife. So he's willing to like pretty much do anything to make sure she's happy, that she's
Yeah.
satisfied. But also he's caught up in the situation. I mean, you have this beautiful woman that's brought it to the situation as well. So, and Khalil's a man, so it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he got a lot of feelings.
Yeah. And I forgot to comment on Mahogany. Yeah, he's feeling Mahogany, and rightfully so. And yeah, it was a hard situation to be in. So
What's your thoughts on, because like we rarely talk about the kids, because Khalil and Cassie have two children.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what is your take on the kids' perspective, as far as like their parents made this decision,
Mhm.
and like now the kids have to live with it too, and
Right.
also Mahogany's child too, she has to live with it as well. What's
Right.
your take on that?
I think as adults we were very unfair to the children. We didn't really, I know adults, like especially old school adults, we feel like we don't need to consult our children about certain things. But for something life changing like what we did, I think we should have set our children down and talked to them first. And even with Mahogany's daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like, you bringing them into this thing that could psychologically mess them up. And we didn't say anything. We just made the move and then expected them to adjust to it. So I think we were wrong on that part. Then we ended up sending them off to like boarding school. So we could possibly be one of the worst parents. We possibly could be bad parents with that type of move. But yeah, we definitely need to reconcile with our children and explain to them. Every parent don't do things right, but when child kind of gets of age and you can explain yourself to them, and maybe they can understand a little bit that it wasn't intentional to hurt you, but it was us trying to find ourselves and our happiness.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So I said I was going when I briefed you about what VPN chat was about, I definitely said I was gonna tell some stories, behind the scenes stories. I'm gonna let you
Mhm.
go first though. I mean, I got a couple that I'm gonna talk about you
Uh-huh.
to your face.
Okay.
But do you have any behind the scenes moments that you can share, that you would like to talk about?
Oh, okay. So the very Mahogany, the very first one. So we you start off with a shower scene. Hey, so I'm thinking, I've done some work before, but they're gonna, you were gonna cut some parts of it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think you were gonna see the entirety of myself. Maybe it was gonna be like, parts and pieces, whatever. But when the movie comes on or when the show comes on at that time, I see all of me, from my butt, everything. So I'm not knowing my own children. I'm telling them like, hey, we need to sit down, watch this.
Wait a minute, hold up, pause. Out of all the stuff that you filmed, and I'm talking about, we first of all, let's just be clear, we filmed the whole
Yeah.
first season already before it came out. So all the things that you filmed with this show, you actually told your kids, let's sit down and watch this.
Well, because some of them don't live with me, right? So I was just saying, I tell them, when I shoot a movie, like, hey, I just shot this movie, it came out, so I haven't looked at it, right?
But Kineh, you knew what was involved on the show though. So why would you?
I do, but they're of age to understand. You know what I'm saying? They're of age. They're not, little children. Of course, not all of them. So the ones that are of age, I was, when I spoke to them like, hey, I got this new movie coming out, boom, 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 and it wasn't even really my kids. It was more like my cousins and stuff like that. And everyone's calling me. Everyone's calling me like, man, why didn't you tell me you naked on the first scene? I'm like, didn't know. At first I didn't know. Until I watched it, and I was like, oh, very first scene, I'm pretty much. But on the same note, though, it brought me more fans. With from that part, it brought lots of talk. So I mean, it's a double-edged sword, but I loved it because I said I've seen other shows copy the same style, so I'm good.
That's funny. Before I go into my story, that is a good question that you brought up about your wife. Shout out to your wife. How does she handle? Because like I said, you've done more projects other than mine, but like, how does she handle you being an actor? And I mean, and not to sound crazy or anything. I mean, you are an attractive person, and of course, people gravitate towards you and what they see on screen. How does your wife, like? How does she feel about that? How does she handle it?
She been a team player, right? Like, I did this one movie in Atlanta one time, and she was in the room while, like, the bedroom scene, everything. She was in there, so she's very aware that, I mean, when you break down the movie, because I used to be afraid of horror movies as a kid. So what I started doing, I started looking at the background work. I could see how everyone is in the room. There's probably 20 people in there where they're filming and all of this, and it's scaring the viewer. And I started looking at it that way, like, it's something you put together. It's make believe, and most of it. So when she's in the room, she saw that and she was like, oh, he's just working. It's just like somebody going to punch the clock and working 9 to 5. So she looked at it like it's work, as long as I don't leave the studio and take that work with me. You know what I'm saying? Start calling the individual. Anything like that, like crossing the lines. So she's fine with it. Every once in a while, she'll be like, oh, you really tonguing her down, like, you really doing that? Like, but she'll be playing, but I think sometimes she's not playing. But you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, she's a real team player. She know what I'm trying to become, and she's always got me my back like 120%. So I really do appreciate her for that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I remember. I don't know. I don't think it was you. I don't know. I think it was one actor who said his wife watched something that we did. It was like, oh no, she's not doing it right. She not in it. She gotta be. Yeah, y'all gotta be in it. And I thought that was so funny to me because I was like, I thought it was funny and I thought it was dope at the same time, because it's like you can separate the fiction from the reality, because you do have a lot of people who are hesitant to do worlds because they have that significant other that will get upset. Trust me, I've had experiences where actors is like, "Nah, I can't do that because," and it don't even be my wife or my husband. It be because my girlfriend or my boyfriend. I'm like, y'all not even gonna be together in 3 months. So I don't even know why you even tripping.
Right.
Like,
And especially
Please.
you came to work. You came to work. You know, if you read the script, you know what's going to be in it. You know, half the time I give you a hard time. Sometimes be like, "Hey, Carl, you know what I'm saying? Or Carl, nah, I'm bloated." You know, you know the time when my stomach is fat. I ate too much because I always eat. I'm always eating. So I come in there, my stomach bulging, and you like, okay, we got to do a no shirt scene. Oh, snap, you know. But those
But
are the time when I give you a hard time.
Kenny will do is Kenny will literally know we about to shoot this scene. He'll go eat something real quick, and then I'm like, "But we about to shoot this other scene." Oh man, you should have told me before. I said I did. I I
Yeah,
I
yeah,
absolutely did tell you. You just decided that you want to go eat whatever we have on the table.
yeah. I love craft services, man. That's why I like being on this set to get craft services. Or you know, because sometimes when you start filming early in the morning, you're not going to eat. You know, you're
Right.
more trying to get everything together. When you finally settle down, you're going to eat. And you know, your scene coming up, you got to eat something. You don't want to go out there and then flop because you don't have any energy. So
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true. So yeah, so my story about Kenny, and Kenny knows that Kenny. First of all, Kenny knows I love him.
Is that like
But
that?
Kenny gives me a hard time because Kenny likes to double book things. Kenny likes to plan things on filming days, and I'm
Uh,
like, Kenny be like, Carl, he be like, Carl, how much more time you think we gonna be? Kenny, we gonna be here all day, bro. I
hold
said,
up, hold up. Let's clarify because this only happened twice.
Kenny, no,
No,
Kenny, we are
no,
going to tell the truth. We're going to
no.
tell.
This only happened twice. But let me tell you why though. Because you know when you give out the schedule, it'll
Uh-huh.
be like weeks out sometime. And the way my schedule been filling up, especially lately, you know, somebody else shoot me something like, "Hey, I need you radio, I need you this or whatever." And sometimes I may forget or I may plan it, but I'm thinking like, you know, my scene may last for this long. And you know, just like I mean, we're doing an interview right now. I just
Uh-huh.
had another guy he wanted to do an interview, like the guy that wants to do the Sweet Mahogany.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I instead of double booking, I just be like, nope, we just get it on another day. So yeah, it's really is my fault. And sometimes I'm just trying to balance so much stuff. Like from the time I wake up in the morning, for me, it's like go, go, go to like 11 o'clock at night. So it's always go. Yeah.
But it never fails. It whatever project Kenny gonna say it don't happen twice. I'm gonna say whatever project Kenny be on, Kenny be the first one be like, so you how long you think we gonna be done about another hour? I was like,
But
Kenny,
but you
really?
know I'm there. I'm there for the entirety. You know I'm there.
I know. No, you
Yeah,
are. No, you are.
yeah.
I'm not gonna. Yo, you are there. You're definitely there.
I'm
But
there early and I'm last one to leave if you want me to.
but
So
we're gonna be 100 though. You do be the one be asking me.
yeah, yeah.
You be like, you think we're gonna be how much longer? And then no, but there's the thing with Kenny though. Kenny don't do it in a downtime. Kenny will see me getting ready to set up for the next scene. Then he'll come to me and say, you think I could like step out for a second real quick? Kenny, I am setting up for the next scene, sir.
But it's not my scene at the time. That's what I'm saying. That's up there. It's not my scene at that moment.
I
And
know,
I looked at the script and I know it's gonna be a couple of hours, you know, we just
but
sitting
but
there.
but but it'd be when you ask me though. It'd be when. It'd be like you be coming at me at the wrong time. I'm
Oh,
like,
you know why? I figured out why. Because I never want to disturb you when you're shooting. That's the worst time to disturb you. So I catch you when you're in, you know, in limbo. So yeah, that yeah. That's it. Don't make it any better, but you get what I'm saying.
oh
On the
gosh.
set, I'm quiet on the set.
I can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
But those days when it happened, I'd be like,
Yeah.
this man is pissing me off so
I,
bad.
I see it on your face. Sometimes I just be like, you know, I'm gonna just go sit in the car and just and do my interviews or whatever I need to do while I'm in the car. You notice I be in the car a lot, right? Because
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah,
there and I'm like you. I'm always writing. I'm writing songs or I'm writing movies and stuff like that. So my mind is always going. And
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did notice on later projects you be in the car now. I be like, oh,
Yeah.
he in the car. so
Yeah.
when I do need you, I just go
Yeah.
outside. I'm like, oh, he in the car. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, or you just, you text me like, hey, your scene is next, I'm right back in there. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I never
definitely.
want to hold up the project.
This, like I said, I'm joking about it because I
Mm.
mean it's a funny story. Because I mean it
Yeah.
happens. But
Yeah.
no, if I will say this about you, you come in, you're professional, you definitely you have your lines, you're ready to work, you're willing to make adjustments. You're definitely a team player. So I definitely I'm a Jones you, but at the same time, definitely give you your props as well because you definitely
I understand. I
yeah.
understand. I've been a handful sometimes because there's been times where you like, we about to shoot this scene. And why you not, you say your stomach's not ready. I know you feel like, you know what, I'm gonna just shoot around them because I've seen it. I think we was in Augusta, we shot a scene that was for the Easter movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and you totally bypassed the body shot because you was just like, I'm not dealing with him today. So yeah. I appreciated this because that was my off season. I was not doing no sit-ups at all. So yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's go there then. Speaking of the Easter movie, you were in Redemption for Easter.
Mm.
Um, I cannot remember your character's name right now.
Yeah.
But you played Audrey's new
Oh,
husband
yeah.
in the movie.
I just
Um,
had his name and I forgot it that fast.
you know what? While we're talking, I'll probably go. I'm going to IMDb. I'm gonna look it up. But
Okay.
talk about because like I said, you did come to Augusta. That's another great story too. So Kenny told me because of course I live in Augusta. Kenny lives in Charlotte, and
Mm.
so it was funny how you have Augusta connections
Mhm.
as well. So you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I was actually Augusta is where I met my wife. I was in the army there. I was in officers career course. I was an officer in the army. And I met her there. Her uncle lived there. He retired. But we're all from Brooklyn, so that's how we all connected. Um, so and then her father lives there. So we go take care of him sometime, run errands for him. So that's how we're in Augusta most of the time. But I have a whole lot of family there, especially now. So I always try to reach out to Carson when I'm in Augusta, like, hey, I'm in town. And of course he's always busy, so we don't get to connect. But yeah, that's what I'm always doing in Augusta. So
got you. And so I
yeah,
found the character's name. The character's name was Raheem DeVoe. That's his name.
yeah.
So that was his
Wow.
name. That was his
Yeah.
name on Redemption Feast. Man, I be trying to tell people, like people be asking me about questions about characters and stuff. I don't wrote so many scripts, created so many characters. I don't remember all these people.
Look, I tell people all the time, I said, this guy has created more works than Tyler Perry. Like, honestly, you put in so much work. I sometimes I'm just online and I see something of yours come up. And then you cross genres now, you're doing music, you're doing poetry, you have comic books. I'm super proud of you. That's why I always tell you that. I always I give people their flowers when they're here. You deserve a lot more, and everything that you've been receiving here lately, you really, really deserve it, brother. I'm very proud of you always. I tell people about you wherever I go. You can check a lot of interviews I do. I speak about you because not only did you open doors for me, but you've done that for so many people. Some people that haven't even maybe even realized it yet. Because sometimes you may not receive your reward right now. It might be later on in life. But you've definitely left a legacy for yourself and your family to have. You know,
I appreciate that, bro. That means a lot. Thank you.
nah,
I
preserve it. You
appreciate that.
definitely.
How was your experience on Redemption for Easter? Because I've talked about this with a couple of people I've interviewed already on VPN chat. We shot it in a week. We
Mhm.
literally only had a week to shoot it. Because the deadline to get it to Maverick was close because they wanted to do they asked me to do it. They want to do an Easter movie because they haven't had any Easter movies that they've done. So they asked me to do one, and so like I said, I only had a short amount of time to actually shoot, write it, shoot it, and all that great stuff.
Mm.
So how was your experience? Playing that role.
That role was really interesting. First off, because it felt like what's that? Stella got her groove back type of thing.
Uh
We're
huh.
doing.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. Of course, I came from the islands on that movie, so I had to develop a little bit of an accent and everything, and it was just interesting being accepted into the family and trying to get myself together, and the children hating me at first, and finally building a family, and it's not too many black movies that have that storyline. You get what I'm saying? Like all our storylines as of lately seem like to just be one track. You know, either we, either we drug dealing or with something. But I like how you add different elements because it's more than that to us as a people. And I like that you were willing to step out there and do an Easter movie and then on top of that, it had a little bit of comedy to it in a way and a story that was really strong as well. So no, I had fun, and the people on the set really made me feel comfortable as well. So that was good. And you always do stuff. You have 5 days, you get it done in like three sometimes. It's like move, 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 but you always get it done. So I definitely like the work.
Yeah, appreciate it. Like I said, I think, like I said, my favorite um part definitely was the dinner, the last dinner that y'all had, and everybody was talking about Easter and stuff like that. I thought that scene, that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. It was definitely moving.
Yeah.
Um, everybody, first of all, shout out to my aunt who made the food. The food looked amazing.
Yep.
Um,
I ate.
I don't know if I ate or not. I can't remember if I did, but I know that the food looked good.
Yeah.
But definitely, like I said, just the acting and that scene, everybody really tapped in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody tapped in, and it was like literally people were crying for real. Like
No,
it was no acting crying. It was
it
literally like
was
people was, but the spirit. I felt like the spirit of God was definitely in that place, and I
definitely.
just felt like people were just really tapped into their emotions and tapped into the characters, what the
Definitely.
characters were dealing with.
And I actually use part of that for my reel. If you notice, I will always take a portion with me on there, or whatever, and I use it because still trying to convince the world that I can act. But on the same note, that was I just felt like that was one of the best deliveries that I've gave. So I was proud of myself for that as well, and for everybody that was around the table as well. So yeah, definitely a great scene.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely for sure agree with that. All right, we're gonna move on to the next project, which is the series Peace Be Still.
Ah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which Kenny, another story. It's so funny. And if you haven't, this is spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Peace Be Still, I'm sorry about to
Yeah.
spoil it. But it's so funny because Kenny's character did get killed on the show. But it's
Mm.
so funny because I remember you came to me and you was like, Carter, you mad at me about something? Because why am I getting killed? No, I was like, I was like, no. I was like, oh, I was like,
Yeah.
because you said, I think you said your wife said, asked you, was I mad at you too? Because
Yeah.
because you got killed. No, I was like, nah, this has nothing to do with. First of all, I'm not upset about anything.
Mhm.
But this has nothing to do about personal feelings. This is just where the story is going.
Yeah. Yeah. I was ready to take it there for a couple more, whatever seasons we had. But then I was like, man, I'm getting killed off. I'm just getting open. So yeah, that was one of those. Because I love the storyline. It was we had like a green leaf type thing go. That's what it's called, right? Green leaf.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
show Greenleaf. Yeah,
Yeah, we had that type of vibe, and I just thought, like it's gonna linger on for a little while. So yeah,
yes.
I'm kind of
So that
disappointed.
that was the original plan, and like I think I told Kiara this. Not that I did tell Kiara this.
Mm.
The show. the show was shorter than what I expected.
Mhm.
Peace Be Still to me was like My Young and the Restless. Like I
Yeah,
literally was like
yeah.
developing this show to be um a soap like that was gonna last, last for a minute. Um, but again, like you things happen. Um, people grow, and in my mind, I'm always about making sure stuff has a good ending. Like they literally end. I want to make sure that we actually wrap it up. I don't want to ever leave. There's only one series that I've done that we did not have a proper series finale, and that was Colorblind. And even to this day, I'm just like, dang, I really wish you would have been able to, wrap it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But I never want to do a series and not properly have a series finale. So I was like, I would rather go ahead and just end it
Mhm.
while I can versus being forced to end it, if that
Right.
makes any sense. Um, so like like I told Kiara, even with your character, like your character obviously would have lasted longer than how it was. But I kind of like even with the like even with writing season 2, I was like, all right, I think we probably get one more season out of this show. So let me go
Mhm.
ahead and start
Yeah.
go ahead and putting in place the ending of this.
Mhm.
And so I mean, you just happened to be the first main character to go. Well, no, you weren't the first main character to go because
Nah,
because
yeah,
because
it was a
because
lot of
because
people getting
because
killed on
because
there.
Amber's character died first. So then it was
Right.
like, yeah, but that was on purpose. Like that was on purpose, and that had nothing to do with Amber. That was just we had to get the story started. Like
Right.
that was actually the start of all right.
That's when she was killed in the bathroom, right?
She wasn't killed in the bathroom. She was found dead in the photography room.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was found dead in the photographer room. So that was the catalyst of all right. This is not only is the family, the treacherousness of the business, and
Mhm.
then you got the church and stuff involved, but now you got murders. You got a murder happening. So that was gonna be the catalyst of everything.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, like I said, you kind of just for me as a creative, you get this feeling like, okay, maybe I should go ahead and start wrapping things up because you just like I said, you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, we were I was recasting characters all the time, so it
Right.
was like,
Yeah, you
uh,
did it. I'm Viv on us. You did it. I'm Viv, right?
yeah. So it was
Yeah.
just like, let me just go ahead and let's go ahead and end this properly while we
Yeah.
can, while I
Yeah.
still at least have majority of the main people still here. Let's go ahead and just wrap
Mhm.
this thing on up.
And I know
Um,
it got hard for you though, because just like balancing all the different people and the schedules and everyone trying is listen, I have scripts written, right? I refuse to film them until I have the right amount of money and people casting. So I'm like I said, when I say I'm proud of you, I'm very proud of you because I know it could take a lot out of you. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? When you said, I might hang it up for a little bit or I may hang it up for good, I kind of understand. You've been doing it for a while and some people may even take it for granted. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's just I know it comes with a lot of baggage.
yeah,
So yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah.
not ready for that yet.
But like I said, it's twofold for me. So like I'm the type of person I'm gonna go get it, right?
Mm,
Like I'm never gonna be like waiting on people to make something that I want happen.
yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, like I said, starting off, of course, when I started off, I was in, back then I was like, all right, what do I do? What do I do?
Mm,
But it just got to a point where it's like, all right, I'm just gonna figure it out as I go. And that's just always been my life philosophy, just figure it out as you go.
yep.
And but I tell people this too, if you do have the ability to get a team together, the right team. I'm not saying pick anybody because, like I said, again, I'm a firm believer on making sure that everything is aligned.
Mhm.
Like because we can all support one another, but
Right.
everybody's not meant to work together.
Indeed. Indeed.
And people might say I'm wrong when saying that, but no, it's the truth. Everybody doesn't doesn't, again, everybody's motives doesn't align, everybody's purposes don't align. I can still support you and say, hey, I wish you well. That doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily mean I need to be a part of your project, if that
Right.
makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely.
yeah. So I do encourage people, hey, if you do have the ability to get a team together before doing this, I say definitely go for it. However, at the same time, I'm also an advocate of making sure that you learn everything that you can learn, because there's gonna be a lot of time. Everybody's not gonna go hard on your vision. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a vision, that vision's for you,
Yep.
and everybody's not gonna be 100% behind it. Even though they say, "Hey, I got you," a
Yeah.
lot of times they
Nah,
don't.
nah,
A
I-
lot of times people don't got you.
yeah. I see it. I mean, I go through it myself, and I see, I see you recording, I see you doing the editing, it's like so many hats, and after a while, you get wore down. Like, man,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
definitely,
It's
I,
it's a double-edged sword, man. Like I said, because again, you don't wanna get tired, but at the same time, you get tired of waiting on people to fulfill their commitments when they say they're gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why I say it's a double-edged sword. It's like either you going either you gonna make it happen, or you gonna wait for somebody to make it happen for you.
yeah,
But at
and
the same, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like when you do have people, reliable people that do want to help you, you
mhm.
should definitely accept that. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said again, it's I know it's hard to unless you in it, then you'll really understand. That's why I say it's a the whole this whole industry thing is a catch 22, double-edged sword, all that stuff. So
Definitely.
yeah, yeah.
That's how I cross into the music, because like you said, I'm not an individual neither to like to sit around and wait for something to happen for me. And doing movies, it takes, what I'm saying, you could write and do all that stuff on your own, but it takes to get characters, casting and all that. And sometimes like you just don't want to deal with 1,000 people or 10 people or whatever. But the
Hmm.
music, at least I could be by myself and write my music and record it and all of that, just to keep the momentum going of what I'm trying to do. And then that's probably one of my first loves too. So it just kind of clicked together. So yeah.
Yeah. We could jump into that real quick. What inspires you musically? Like how did you like what made you want to get into music?
I guess music always been when I growing up, when I met my father, like I said, I didn't get to know him until I was 9, but I was an only child. So music, even as a little kid in Africa, was my only friend. I didn't really have friends that I hung out with, not that I remember at such a young age, but I would hear music anywhere, and I might hear it just one time, but I would know all the words the next time I heard it.
Mm,
I remember my grandmother telling me that she's the one that raised me from the time I was a baby. Um, and it just been something that always went with me. Even when I was in the army, I go to Iraq, Afghanistan, music. We'll be in our tank and getting shot at, but we got the Wu-Tang playing, you know what I'm saying? And we still wilding out in there in the Humvee, everything, because the music was what propelled us, that gave us hope and all of that. So I've always been attached to music more than anything in this world. Of course, when I watch TV, I'm like, I can do acting. I went to school for it. I went to college to get acting degree, theater, and all of that stuff. But it was just something about music. It's kind of like anything you do in life, you can go back and be like, man, what was playing at that time? Or you can find out what you was doing in life by the song that was out, right?
mhm.
Yeah, so it's something that's really connected to us, and especially as Black people, just whether we in the village or whether we're on the slave ship, wherever. Black people, music is our soul. It's like our attachment to the ground or to our ancestors. So it's definitely that. So that's my connection to music. And my motivation came more when I took the trip to Africa in 2017, and I was sponsoring some orphanages at that moment anyway. And in order for me to try to help to give them more, I was talking to God like, how can I help these people even more
Mhm.
than what doing because I spend my own money, you know, trying to get them whatever they need all the time. That's what I do every month. Um, and I just kind of heard no cliche, but just I heard a voice saying, you know, use your voice. I was like, use my voice. What do you mean use my voice? I was like, I'm already doing this acting and all this stuff. It was like, use your voice. And I remember I made the song for my mother. It was the 3rd anniversary of her being gone, you know,
Mm.
way. And it was that was just to honor her for being a great mother. And I took the song with me to Sierra Leone when I went, and the people started playing it. Like the people I met, family members. I haven't seen these people. I've never known these people, to be honest. Okay,
Mm.
but they listened to the song and they convinced me to go to the radio station. Took it to the radio station. They started playing. And before I left the country 2 weeks later, it was being played in other places in the country. And I was like, wow, that's they feeling it. So now I'm getting interviews like, we need your next song. I'm like, I don't have another song. You know, this is not what I was trying to do. I was just trying to honor my mother. But and they kept on pressing, kept pressing. And of course, the voice that I was hearing in my head, I was like, that would be so dope to be able to come and perform in this village, the village that I'm from, you know, may not remember anything, but this is where my family and I'm from. That would be so dope to be able to come here and perform for them. So that's what propelled me into the music. And now, you know, whatever I make from the music, I send it to them to, you know, to help with housing, with just welfare of their themselves, children, pay tuitions, stuff like that. So that's the music is basically to help people and to help Africa.
That's dope. That's dope. That's definitely, man, I have no words, bro. Like that's amazing. That's definitely that's dope. And that's something that you definitely should be proud of. You should be celebrated for that. So this just you know, just thank you for the work that you're doing, man, and just thank you for being an inspiration. That's definitely some good stuff, man.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
definitely. Speaking of, and then with your music too, your song is one of your songs is featured on the Kwanzaa movie, A Kwanzaa Family Vacation. Um,
That, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're welcome, man. I remember when you sent it to me because he actually already had a song. I had something there, and
Mm.
it wasn't a song. It was scoring. I already had scoring there in that spot, and I remember you sent it to me. I was like, oh nah, man, we gotta play this one. I gotta put that in.
I
Def-
appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, man. I just like I said, I understand what you're doing. It's awesome to see you expand. Like I said, I've known you from acting. Of course, I've seen, you know, a couple of your modeling stuff. But just how you really have taken off with your music, I think that's it's dope to see. It's dope to see you just maneuver like that. I think that's cool.
And same to you, you know, the comic thing, the poetry. I was like, oh man, he doing it. Remember, I reached out to you because I'm a comic fan too. So as soon as I seen it, I was like, man, as soon as you make a movie, I need to jump in that. I want to be somebody's superhero. You know, I would play one of the parts. So nah, definitely, man. I applaud you for that. Good,
Yeah,
good.
thank you, thank you. I definitely appreciate it. So your latest role that you did with us, Pastor Thorne 2, Sins of the
Oh,
Father, which is out on Peacock, Tubi, all that great stuff. It's out now. Y'all definitely go check it out. So you come in, you are Deacon Stephen. Is it Stephen? Let's look. Deacon
yeah,
Stephen Myers. That's your name on Pastor Thorne 2.
yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your role in that film.
Yeah, that was unexpected because you know, you guys had already did part one. So when you hit me up, I was like, definitely, I would definitely love to jump. And then I know Marquise, you know, we all worked out at the same gym.
Mhm.
Uh, so and I believe he's a good actor. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm into the acting, like really acting part. You know what I'm saying? Like I want people to be like, well, that guy can act. You know what I'm saying? I think that accolade means more to me than an award. That because that's what I went to school for. I could have just said I'm an actor just right off the bat, and you know what I'm saying. So when I got out the army, I made sure I went to school, paid tuition to try to learn and get more, you know, into the resume of acting. So
Mhm.
I saw his acting. I was like, yeah, he gets into his character. So I was happy to be doing a project with him. And I didn't know everything that was going to be part of, you know, all the other characters, you know, everything that you put together. But I ended up when I watched, I was like, wow, this went together so well. And then Reggie just, you know, Reggie blew the whole joint. So I was just like, look, my father watched that because he lives in Africa now. He
Uh-huh.
moved to Africa a couple of years ago, and he
Uh-huh.
comes back in a couple of months. So when I sent it to him, he was like, oh, that pastor's crazy. I was like, yeah. I even had to hit Reggie up like, you did a great job with that, man. You actually showed different layers of yourself, honestly, you know. But yeah, so it was great playing that role and being how would I call myself? I felt like Scar in a way, you know, from Lion King, but I guess I was needed in that part as far you know what I'm saying, just to
Mhm.
close that gap because so much was happening. Not to give away the whole storyline, but you know, with so much happening, and yeah, Deacon Stephen needed to be in that mix of that just to break up everything that was happening. It was so many elements from Marquise to Reggie and all, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That I think people are looking for a three. That's one of the other movies. Also, I get a lot of still shots like, man, what was y'all think about? I was like, you talk to Carlton. That comes from his mind. He's the one writing this stuff, though. Like people been hitting me up like I wrote it. I'm like, no, I'm just an actor in here. This guy, I don't know what he was thinking about, but he comes up with all this. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna address some things. Like I said, I think you did a great job playing that part.
Right.
Um, it was funny because, like I said, it's a podcast I listen to regularly.
Mm.
Um, Shout out to Josh and Jason and Marcus of what's I can't think of the name of the show. And I listen to it all the time. Dang, it's like right here in my head. But anyway,
Uh,
what we talking about this time? What we talking about this time podcast? They did a review of the first Pastor Thorne, and they did a review of the second one.
mm.
And they with your character, there was like, is he a deacon? Is he a lawyer? Like, what is he? And I was like, y'all, he's both. I mean, like
You can be both.
you can, like I said, like when it
Yeah.
comes to when it's the church, um, like when the deacon is not necessarily a job.
Right.
Like that's unless you're working at the church full time, but
Mm.
most deacons are not working at the church. That's just their
Yeah.
title that
Yeah.
they're a deacon of the church. But
Yeah.
so Stephen is a deacon at the church, but his career, his job, he's a lawyer, he's an attorney,
Yeah.
and he's the attorney of the bishop.
Mm.
So I want to definitely clarify that he's definitely both he's a deacon and an attorney
Yeah.
and a lawyer. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It was like you low down, Deacon. You low down. If my brother called, he was like, bro, what you doing? Hey man, I was just playing the character, man. You know.
But the crazy thing is, it's so funny that people are shocked by that, but it's like they shouldn't be shocked because I mean, first of
It's real.
all, it's real stuff. Like it's stuff that happens in real life. It's stuff that's happening like this in some churches. I'm not
Mhm.
saying all, not saying all.
Right.
So no, I don't want nobody coming at me, but it's stuff happening. It's stuff like that happening in some churches.
Yeah.
Um, and also too, you have to understand at the end of the day, we're all human. So yes, there are people that and I said there are people that are saved, and there are people that are in the church and all this other stuff, but there's also we all are 100% human as well.
Oh
And
yeah.
there are people that are dealing with different things
Right.
behind closed doors. And
Right.
I think honestly, I'm gonna talk about this in another podcast, but I think sometimes people have issue with seeing this stuff on their TV screens because it's a direct reflection of what you're dealing with.
Right.
It's hard to look in the mirror sometimes.
People don't like the truth, so
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like I said again, you may have an issue on the way it's presented sometimes, but you can't take away or you can't deny the subjects and the issues that we do touch on. And sometimes it's a direct reflection
right.
of what's happening in a lot of y'all's lives.
Indeed. Yeah.
And sometimes, and like you said, like you see the truth in front of you. And a lot of times we don't like to deal with the truth. We don't like to deal with who we really are. We want to continue to wear the mask 24/7. And it's
Mhm.
like, not like you wearing the mask, but that mask is cracking real bad.
Yeah. That's the
So
truth. I'm
yeah,
glad they got it though. They know how it will be happening. I don't know why they act like that.
yeah. You just have people. Yeah, you just have people again. Like I never. People have their preferences. There are things that I don't watch. I don't like. Like I said again, you mentioned horror movies. I hate horror movies. I'm not watching them. And you're not gonna get me in front of them. I'm not gonna watch a horror movie. I don't care if I think about the back, the front. I don't care about
Yeah.
none of that. I'm not watching a horror movie. I'm just not doing it. So, but there are people that love horror movies.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
not, you know what I'm saying? That's your thing. There are
Mhm.
certain things people can't watch a lot of sex, or the people don't want to watch a lot of violence or whatever, or nudity or what have you. That's fine. Yeah, you have your preferences, but at the same time, it's like for you to constantly for first of all, and I said this on the pod, I said it'll tell you, and even in my stuff or whatever, it'll tell you what's involved in this said movie.
Mhm.
So if you know that you
Yeah.
don't like that type of stuff,
Right.
you shouldn't sit there and watch this movie just so you can be irritated, or just so you
Right.
can just
Yeah.
have something negative to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You have choices these days. It's not like back in the day where it was like 13 channels or whatever. You have choices. You could do it. You could watch anything. So
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, I just feel like it's either if you don't want to see it, you can fast forward,
Mhm.
or you can just simply not watch.
It
It's simple.
is.
It's simple as that. Of course,
Right.
of course, we would love your support. We would love it, but at the same time, and as I said before, you're not obligated to support me. You're not. You're not obligated to support me at all.
Yeah.
I would rather you not watch my project than you sit here and watch it and you complain about it the whole time.
Right. I mean, I'm a Tubi head. I'm not going to even lie. I know people talk bad about Tubi, and all the projects not on just on Tubi. I know that, but I'm a Tubi head because I like storylines. You know what I'm saying? Like I like a good storyline or some cliffhangers to it. I just don't want just regular straightforward. So we've seen that. We've seen it like 100 times. It's like everyone just regurgitate the same script over and over,
Mhm.
especially Hollywood. Like they doing that so much, and we have real stories. Like you kind of aware of my story a little bit. I have real story that could be a big blockbuster movie. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You have real stories that could be blockbuster movies. Like talk to the individuals or people that's really interested in that writing, or you know what I'm saying? Stop making the same movies over and over. That I hate that, man. I do.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it 100%.
Yeah.
Is there so we can touch on Super Mahogany 3 real quick, but I don't want to give anything away because first of all, I'm still editing the movie.
Oh man.
Um yeah, it's
We waiting too. We waiting on this one. Boy, we waiting on this one.
yeah, I
And
mean
I know Ron's gonna see this. He gonna be like, yeah, we waiting on this one. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, first of all, it took us forever to shoot it, and then, like I said, I know it's taking me a little minute to edit, but I just got just some stuff going on, man, and just but I'm chipping away at it. It'll definitely get done. But talk about, like I said, you can want to talk. We can talk about it a little bit without giving stuff away. See Behind the Three, the final entanglement. Um, I think you briefly mentioned about Khalil. You were saying how um we're actually, you feel like we're gonna finally get to see some of his layers.
Yeah.
So you want to elaborate?
Yeah, like you said, not to give too much away, but I think we start discovering that he's a person that can stand on his own 2 feet also. That it wasn't just, his wife that's like holding the reins to everything. That he might have been the man, or he might have just decided to play the background because he might have been too much of the man in his past. So I think that's what people are going to see more of Khalil. They're going to see him a different light as well.
We're Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I don't want to give too much away. So yeah.
Were you shocked? Because I didn't talk. We didn't talk about this. Well, it was season 2, but then it's now the second movie. Were you shocked when you saw that Khalil? Because there's a scene where Khalil is choking Michael Michael's character.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of his name right now.
Rick James.
Rick. Yeah. So
Yeah.
were you surprised when you read that Khalil was like, because Khalil got some street to him, obviously. And so were you like, what was your take on that side of Khalil?
Man, first I was trying to figure out what was going on between Khalil and Rick. Because it wasn't, you couldn't really see it at first. Even when you was watching, you kept seeing he was making phone call, but you never saw who it was to. So when we get to that part when they finally meet face to face, I think Khalil showed like what he is, or what he can be. You know what I'm saying? If pushed in the corner. I think that's when people finally was like, oh, this guy, he's not a punk, or he's just not a yes man. So he might be the one really running the thing, instead of everyone thinking, that it was just his wife. So yeah. And I guess the way I attacked that character, as far as attacking Rick also, was they just saw a different part of Khalil. And I think we played that pretty well. And Rick's reaction was great. So
Which side of Khalil do you like the most? Do you like his calm, like business type professional side, or do you like the street, I can get real dirty if I need to side? Like which?
I think I gravitate to both, because Khalil is a lot like myself, but on the same note, I think every individual on earth has more than one side to them. It's just which one you make come out. So he can be the loving father, husband, and all of that all the time. But if you provoke him, you mess with his family or himself, that's when he can turn into somebody else. I send your work to it was this casting agent that worked for Tyler Perry. And he actually told me he took your work to Tyler Perry's office to watch. So people watch your stuff, people with names. So I never think that somebody's not peeping what you're doing.
That's true. So I think we shot, you said 16. I think we shot it in 17 because the series came out in 18.
Came out 18?
Yeah, it came out 18. Yeah.
Okay, well maybe we shot Poster in 16, but it was around that time. But
yeah, you shot. Yeah, I'm on your I'm on your page, your IMDb page now. So yeah, y'all Poster came out in 16. Yeah, Poster came out in 2016. And then Sweet Mahogany came out in 2018.
Okay, but we shot in 17, right?
I think we shot in 17 though.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. That's crazy to think that was 7 years ago. That's wild. That's wild. That is so wild.
It's still in demand. Like I'm saying, people honestly on my mother's grave reach out like, man, when you guys gonna drop 3? I like the gentleman that I was just surprised from, and he's from my wife's job. He just came here and was like, man, I watch your husband movies. I would really like to interview him and you. So that just came out the blue, and this is the type of stuff that happens, a lot. And just like, well, I appreciate that they appreciate the work.
Nah, and I appreciate you telling me that. Cause like I said again, it get like I said, you do things because you love the art, you love being creative. That's how you live. It's like you just want to, that you want to create. But a lot of times this road is it's crazy, man. It's a crazy road. It's a crazy life. You're always so bombarded with so much negative things and people
Yeah.
saying things. So when you get positive stories like that, man, it's like I said, okay, so it shows you, okay, you are making some type of positive impact in the world. You may not necessarily see it or feel it
Mhm.
all the time, but to get those little glimmers of light and hope, that's it's needed. It's definitely needed for sure.
Definitely have created. I told you, you created a legacy for yourself. You left extensive work, you know, and they'll be discovered as time passes. If they don't catch on now, it's just like I said, even with my music, they don't catch on now, they'll catch it later. But at least I took the stands and I did something that I wanted to do, and I enjoy doing it. And
Yep.
I about you. So just keep that, man. God put that in your heart for a reason. I always say that, the days when I'm discouraged or I feel like things not moving as fast as, I want them to move. I'm like, God put this in my heart for a reason. I didn't really go asking for it. It was put in my heart. And for some reason, my heart would not let it go because this really is for me.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I live.
Definitely. Before we close out, I want to definitely want to shout you out because you're the reason that I know Frank for sure. So I
Ah,
definitely want to say
well, thank
thank you for that, man. Cause like I said, I know we was getting ready to shoot season 2, and
you.
unfortunately the actor that played Larry, he couldn't be a part of it anymore. So I was like, I said, Khalil, these are best friends still. Um, and
Yeah.
instead of recasting the Larry part, I know you told me about Frank, and I was like, well, the character that played Larry has short hair. Frank has locks. I
Mhm.
don't think his hair will grow that fast. So we'll just create a whole new character. We'll just create Chance, and
Yeah.
that's how Chance was created. I'm gonna tell this story whenever I do have
Mhm.
a VPN chat with Frank. I'll definitely tell the story again. But all the introduction was for me meeting Frank was because of Kenny. So um,
Now, Frank's a great friend of mine. Good people, man. Real, and I believe he's a great actor as well. And his comic really. If you ever decide you want to get back in the game and you want to write something comedic, right? Some comedy. Cast me and Frank. All you gotta do is cast me and Frank. Give us some weed and just let us be go. We will give you some of the funniest things ever. I'm telling you. So, yeah,
yeah, well, I've witnessed their hijinks
yeah,
behind the scenes already. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
only I can only imagine what would happen if that happened in front of the camera because I already seen what's still happening behind it. So
Yeah, Frank's comical, man. I swear. I like that guy.
yeah, yeah. Well, is there anything else that you would like to say before we close out?
And honestly, I just want to say, you got an opportunity to wake up every morning. Just make the best of it. You know what I'm saying? Just make it. I wake up with the thing like I want to make God proud every day. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't never want him to feel like he wasted time making me.
Mm,
And so I'm always grateful when I wake up. We've lost so much in the past few years, man. So every minute of my day, I just want to appreciate it, you know. So yeah,
yeah, I love that, man. And like I said, just know that you are definitely not a mistake. You are definitely you're here for a purpose. You're here for a reason. You were created for a reason. God loves you, and he's never going to uh say, "Hey, I wish I never would have created Kenny." That's never gonna happen. Never. That's never gonna happen.
yeah,
So, like I said, you are definitely like I said, we all are created for a purpose, and like I said, you definitely are as well, sir. So just definitely keep that in mind, man. But I love that you said like you wake up every morning wanting to make God proud, but he already is, man. Like that's what we always got to remember. He is already proud of us, and he loves us so much.
Yeah.
And honestly, once you really get that, then even when the negative stuff comes at you, you deal with it, but then you can like just let it go because long like I know it sounds cliche, but it's like long as you got I know the song that Vicky Wine saying, long as I got King Jesus, I don't need nobody else.
Hmm.
It's cliche, but it's true at the same time. It's like, yo, if I got God, man, I'm good.
It is.
I'm so good, bro. And my big bro Donald tells me this all the time. You got God and you got your core family.
Yeah.
Everything else is just a bonus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but you got that core, you good. You are
Yeah.
good. You are
Right.
good. So yeah,
Bless. Bless. I got a great wife, father, great family. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Appreciate them, man. And the other thing is, I like to make them proud, and I
yeah,
just want a legacy for them as well. Just it's time we break these chains. Chains of poverty, chain of all this. Just break all that stuff, man. I don't believe in that stuff. So we starting something new.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Kitty, thank you so much, man, for taking the time out to speak with us, man.
Appreciate you always. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Godspeed to you. And I know everything that you're praying about, everything that you're going after is going to be yours. You know that.
Ah, man, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. And we appreciate you, everybody, for listening to VPN Chat and watching VPN Chat. And until the next one, peace.